Well, good morning. This is the December meeting of the North Andover Council on Aging, the virtual meeting, and need to begin with using the governor's notice regarding virtual meetings and open meeting law. And that says, pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th order, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, and his March 15th order, imposing a strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the North Andover Council on Aging will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information on the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town website at www.northandoverma.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch the meeting may do so on their televisions by tuning to CamEd, which is Comcast Channel 99 or Verizon 28, or online. I was just seeing some things popping up on the screen, so it looks like Tracy's online now. Finishing, no in-person attendance of the members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure the public can adequately access the meetings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so despite best efforts, we will post on the Town of North Andover website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive records of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. If the public would like to participate in the meeting, please email your question or comment prior to or during the meeting to Irene O'Brien. It's I-O'Brien, O-B-R-I-E-N, at northandoverma.gov. The question or comment will be read during the meeting and responded to accordingly. I looked at the roll call and I see Irene, David, Maria, Jack Graham, Jennifer, Joe Nahill, Joe McCarthy, Quintera, and Tracy. Did I miss anybody?
This is Pat. I just joined. Pat, right.
Okay, Pat, welcome. Pat's here.
We're all here.
So
Great.
We are pretty much all here.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing some, it looks like Pat just arrived. Pat, good morning. Oh, you already said that. I'm getting a delay, I guess, on my feed on the computer here. Somebody's saying hello, and then I'm seeing a pop-up notice that somebody wants to join. So I'm not sure how the technology is working, but we're getting there.
We're there, yeah.
You've all seen the agenda, I believe, and we'll do the minutes in a second. I have one kind of major update, and that's from Irene, who's going to talk about the year in review and looking forward to 2021. I'm not aware of any unfinished or new business, but it's on the agenda if somebody has it. The other chairs have not asked to have anything on the agenda. Joe McCarthy is asked as a guest report from the Board of Health, of which he's chair, talking about the COVID and other health issues, and we'll do that near the end. And we will end at 10 o'clock. So the first order of business then would be the minutes of the meeting. I think you've all had a chance to look at the minutes from the November meeting. Does anybody have any corrections or additions to that? If not, if somebody would like to make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
I move it.
Dave moves.
I'll second it. I'll second
Maria
it.
seconds it.
Excellent minutes.
Is anybody opposed? Not hearing anybody opposed, I'll assume it's unanimous that it's okay. So then the first thing would be Irene for her update on the year. How's things going, Irene? Are you muted?
I'm not seeing her, and she was actually on with picture before.
I see her on my screen, but I'm not hearing.
I can barely hear her.
Hi, this is Paula. I'll send her a quick text.
I'm not sure what's happening with Irene's system.
Yeah, I could.
I guess she's trying to find her way in.
Yeah, I don't see her on right now.
No, her picture just popped off my screen.
Wow.
Well, I'll just ask Dave, did you have anything that was going on with the committees you're involved with?
No.
Okay, Maria?
No, I guess we're diligently working, but nothing to report right now.
Same, and I'm on the committee with Maria, and then the other committee with that special one with the tax abatements and things like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just try to bring that back up again with them to get something on the calendar for January. I wanted to kind of give them a break with Corona and everything and not keep pushing it, but I mean, now we're coming into tax season and, you know, people are virtual. So I don't really understand any reason not to bring this idea to the virtual world. So I mean, I just can't imagine not wanting to. So I think I'm going to push for that again and email the assessor's office to see if I can at least get a meeting with them because Chris McClure said he could easily, you know, kind of put me and Joe and Maria's and everybody's vision up onto a website for the seniors or their kids to help them figure out what tax abatements and things they might be able to get. So I don't want that to end up being realized after tax season. That seems like a big missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thank you, Tara.
And can I just ask, is that CC email that's supposed to archive these emails, is that NANAPA10 at Verizon, or is there a different one? That didn't sound familiar to me, but that was the only one I found.
Well, we're supposed to be televised on the Comcast 99, the Cam Ed channel. I guess the town has two different channels, and there's a group that gets broadcast on one, and then there's another group that includes us that's on the Cam Ed channel.
But for emails, you know how you're supposed to do like a CC so that the emails are captured on kind of like a public archiving system. I think there's a CC. I'll find it.
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
I see Irene is back on the screen. Is your mic on, Irene? Not hearing anything.
No,
You can
voice.
also just use the telephone line with the PIN and call in. That's what I did initially.
Yeah, I don't know. Irene, can you phone in?
Yeah, I can phone in. I'll try phoning in.
Oh, now we hear
I
you.
heard you just
I
then.
hear you, Irene.
We hear you now.
While you were fiddling with that thing, I heard you.
Yeah.
When you were fiddling with the wire just now, with the connection. For a second, we were hearing you, and then that thing you're holding in your hand.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Good.
I'm back.
Okay.
I did have a question on the minutes, and I was trying to talk and I couldn't get. You obviously weren't hearing me. There was the donation wasn't made by Market Basket. The donation came through Senator Deanna DiZaglio, And I wanted that to be noted in the minutes.
What minute?
It's on about the third sentence down, a donation, it says a donation from Market Back for
Oh, yeah.
2,500 delivery bags was
Yeah.
gifted to the senior center. That's incorrect. It was the donation came through Diana DiZaglio, Diana, but the bags are from Market Basket, but she brought the donation to us. She was responsible for us receiving them.
As the maker of the motion, I'm comfortable adding that to it.
Yes, I'll make a correction.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
And
I
Maria,
just
you
did
can
it.
second that.
Okay, thank you.
All done.
So, you want to tell us what you would like to tell us, Irene?
Oh, where are you? Because I wasn't hearing anything. Okay. I just wanted to go over 2021. It's kind of difficult because the only time we had anyone in the building was January, February, and the first 2 weeks of March. So those 3 months are kind of slow months for us anyway. But the food distribution is still continuing. I'm sure you all heard the Cram the Cruiser that's been happening around town, and they're bringing out multiple amounts of food. The brown bag program, which goes out once a month on the first Tuesday of the month, was canceled this month. So we have supplemented that, the brown bag program, and we are delivering them this week. Carla notified all the clients that are in the program that we would be supplementing something for their bags. So we made up 50 separate bags today to go out to them. And we're also including a $25 gift card in the bags.
Nice.
And then this afternoon, 50 more bags will be going out to the housing communities, 3 of the housing communities. We will be adding gift cards to those bags, but not for another week or so. Probably closer to Christmas week, we will add those in there. The hell? I'm hearing a really loud noise. Where is that coming from?
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
It might help if everybody would mute their mics.
Yes, please.
We may be getting some feedback.
Well, they're working on the roof, and they're obviously drilling a hole in the kitchen, so I'm downstairs. But the food drive is continuing. We're working with Gianna Lima to help us through families, because a lot of the donations, and I'm talking lots of donations, are coming in. We're right back to where we were in the very beginning, with the support of the different groups. They're all bringing in all kinds of food for us. So we're very appreciative of that. And that's all that's really been going on. The Shine Counseling has been one active program. People have to call in for that and set an appointment, but that's ending December 7th. So that's over, correct, Carla? It ended yesterday. And we are just continuing doing what we have been doing for the last 9 months, is the food distribution. And we feel we're really impacting a lot of seniors, and we received some really positive feedback for that. At this point, the budget is going to be exactly what it was last year. There is going to be no changes. We don't have any play area there at all. We're just resubmitting the budget that we had last year. Any funds that we did not spend in the first 3 months will just be absorbed back into the general funds. So that's where we are with the budget. That's due to Lynn Savage on the 15th of January. And so Carla and I will be putting that together. Does anyone have any questions on the budget? All right, by your silence,
You
I
need
say no.
to unmute Dave to speak. Dave, you're still muted.
Okay, I'm used to Zoom where you hit a bar and it'll help. What is the schedule? You said January 15th is when it's submitted to who?
It has to be submitted to Lynn Savage.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Any
then it just goes
department does that?
Pardon?
Each department does that?
Everybody has that, yes. We're giving back all our funds to the general fund.
Is there a time when you're called in to defend that budget?
I'm not sure how they'll do it in the past. Yes, they would come in and we would go meet with Lynn and my division director and the town manager and discuss the budget. But I think everything's going to be straightforward from last year. The other point was that the uh, the grant we applied for to capital improvement for a new van, and hopefully that will be approved. It seems like by their comments that they're going to move it right through for us. I'm sorry, I'm getting so much noise from the roofers. I don't think I'm being very clear. So, and again, I can hear a lot of feedback. Is there any mics open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
John.
some of it could be coming through the telephones. They have to mute in a different way from
Yeah,
we
okay.
do when we're on screen.
So that's all that's really happening. There's the town has been doing little events, setting up maps of the streets that have decorated their homes, and they're doing a contest there. And the garden club has brought in wreaths for us. We've added some new programs in January. Leah is going to be doing a virtual planting. We usually make bouquets of flowers, Christmas flowers, and they do an arrangement with the women's club. But because of social distancing, we cannot do that in the building. So Leah is going to hand deliver the flowers to each person to make their own bouquet for Christmas. So, we do have a couple of things going on our friends book, friends page, as well as on the I can't even think of what it is. Just getting so much noise here. I'm sorry. I'm getting so much feedback in my mic. I don't know if that's
Okay.
better or not. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. But anyway, through the senior center web pages, Leah has been posting different programs. We're going to have some guest speakers on at different times. The newsletter will be going out within the next 2 weeks. And we did a walk down memory lane, did a lot of pictures of the seniors and things like that. Everybody's been going out on the food delivery to see the seniors and just to be able to make a connection and let people know we're okay. That's the calls I receive most is people asking if we're okay. And we are all okay. We're all doing fine, but we're as frustrated as they are with the situation. So that's my story.
Is there any looking ahead, or is everything day to day right now?
Everything is day to day right now, constant under change. We never know what's going to happen next. We're the town manager tells us, and that's what we do. So that's how it is at this point. The food delivery, like I said, has been over the top, and we'll probably continue that as long as the food still keeps coming in. We'll keep delivering it. So
Okay,
that's it.
well, thank you.
Okay.
Any other comments anybody wants to make or questions of Irene? Then I think we could move and ask Joe McCarthy if he wants to update us on Board of Health issues. Joe, you still there?
This is Tracy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There was so much feedback while I was taking notes. Irene, I'm going to have to call you directly to get a lot of things because sometimes I only get every fourth word. So I'll have to call you just to get some clarity on the minutes, okay? Okay.
Joe McCarthy, you still here? I'm not hearing Joe. Well, in the absence
Maybe
of,
give Joe a reminder of what those buttons are to unmute yourself when you call in. It's like *67 or something like that. I don't remember.
I
Star
don't,
6 will unmute you on a telephone call.
Star what? Say that again, Tracy.
Star 6.
Star 6. Joe McCarthy, you still around? I'm seeing, I think Joe's phone number is still showing up on my screen, but I'm not hearing anything.
Can you hear now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I didn't hit mute, but it doesn't really matter. Again, it's going to take me 5 or 10 minutes. I appreciate everyone putting their phones on mute because there's a lot that's happening, and I'm going to highlight some key points. Obviously, this is a monthly health report to our Council on Aging with the focus of the coronavirus. First of all, as noted in the past, an excellent source of information is the town's online update. It is very, very good. And speaking of good, there is a lot of good news and unfortunately bad news right now on the coronavirus. And the good news is that Pfizer and Moderna have submitted requests for emergency use authorization of their vaccines. The bad news is that the virus is spreading rapidly. So let me go over some statistics, and then I want to talk about the vaccines and what it means to us in particular as seniors. In the United States, the total cases, and again, this is from the virus, approximately 15 million. That may seem like a lot, but it's only 4.5% of the population. People that have recovered, approximately 9 million people. And the related deaths are approximately 300,000. Now, related deaths meaning, well, these people died and they had a positive indication of the virus, but they may have died for other reasons. So it's hard to say. Before the meeting, I was looking at the Reuters fact check, and it is projected that fewer people in the United States will die overall this year than last year. That was very, very interesting. Last year it was about almost 3 million people that died in 2019, and this year it's about 2.9 million projected for the year. So I scratch my head and say, well, what effect, if any, has this coronavirus has? But we will see. In Massachusetts, the total cases approximately 250,000. The 7-day average positive rate in Massachusetts is 5.4%. By the way, I don't hear any background noise. Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
The 7-day average positive rate in Massachusetts is 5.4%. In Lawrence, it's 15%. Troubling. The patients currently in hospitals in Massachusetts, about 1,500. And the average age is about 68. Related deaths, 10,793. And in North Andover, the total cases 1,143, active 189, recovered and out of isolation 907, and related deaths 47. And this information is no more than a day or two old. So to help to contain the spread of the virus, Governor Baker has curtailed some elective medical procedures to make room for an expected increase in COVID-19 patients. I read that this morning in the Boston Globe. I saw it coming. I think that there's going to be further closures in Massachusetts, but we will see. And speaking of people in the hospitals due to COVID-19 in Massachusetts, and again, the vast majority of them are old, very, very old, it's increased 300% over the last month. And this is why Governor Baker has curtailed some elective medical procedures, because he sees things getting even worse. The governor has also issued 56 executive orders, and here are some highlights. Must wear face mask while in public places, indoors and outdoors. Taking a walk, filling a car with gasoline, shopping, and saying it as it is, a lot of people do not wear face masks in public places. Restaurants are limited to 25 people. Private gatherings are limited to 10 people inside and 25 people outside. Now, there's a mandatory 14-day quarantine requirement for travelers arriving in Massachusetts, unless they're arriving from a low-risk state. The only low-risk state right now is Hawaii. There are exceptions, such as persons commuting for work or school, persons receiving medical treatment, military personnel, and persons performing critical infrastructure services. All other people coming into Massachusetts, they must have a form and either be quarantined for 14 days or have a negative COVID-19 test taken no longer than 72 hours before arrival. Otherwise, they will be fined or can be fined $500. Now, this is a question before I go any further to all of you. Say that you shop, say Best Buy in Salem, New Hampshire, or attend, say, a grandchild's birthday party in New Hampshire. Would you have to be quarantined? No feedback, because there was some misinformation out there. The answer is yes. You would have to be quarantined unless you have a negative COVID-19 test. Now, speaking of shopping areas in New Hampshire, you have Pelham, New Hampshire, Salem, New Hampshire, Nashua, New Hampshire. They're all on the Massachusetts borders, and they all cater primarily to Massachusetts citizens. So if you go across the border, shop, most of the license plates will be for Massachusetts. And I doubt that few of these people, if any of them, are being tested for the COVID-19. The good news, again, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, we're still on
Okay.
mute.
Okay, this is the good news. The Food and the Drug Administration probably will authorize the use of the Pfizer vaccine this week and the Moderna vaccine next week. Now, distribution will commence within 24 hours of use authorization, and injections will commence within 48 hours of use authorization. So arguably, by this weekend, people will start to be injected. With recommendations from the federal government, Massachusetts has put together a vaccine distribution plan, which I read, 47 pages, a painful reading. Nevertheless, here are the highlights. There were 3,000 healthcare sites in Massachusetts. And the priority for the vaccine is as follows. Phase 1 priority, clinical providers and non-clinical staff who have direct contact with COVID-19 patients. Patients in nursing homes over 65 years old. Elderly with specific comorbidity conditions such as obesity, diabetes, lung disease, et cetera, And here's where the determination of eligibility gets dicey, gets difficult. And I'll talk about that in another minute or so, because it does concern many of us, period. The state expects to receive around 300,000 doses total of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines this year. In that this is a two-dose vaccine, that's enough for about 150 people. And that's 150,000 people, and that's just 2.5% of the Massachusetts population. However, hopefully there'll be enough vaccines to vaccinate all priority. That is phase 1. I just went over what phase 1 is. And phase 2, which includes all seniors, by March of 2021, and the rest of the populace by June of 21. We don't know right now how effective these vaccines are long term. Perhaps no more than 6 months, but we will find out. There's so much we don't know right now. Many people will decide not to be vaccinated for various reasons, a major concern. And when approximately 70% of the population has recovered from the virus or been vaccinated, the spread will stop. And that's called herding. Hopefully this will be in the second half of 2021. Now, getting back to phase one comorbidity distribution for the elderly, how do they know if they're eligible for a vaccine? And where will it be given? For example, I'm over 65. I've had open heart surgery twice. I've had cancer. That was really, really nasty. Am I eligible? I don't know. The devil is in the details, and such details will be forthcoming. Nevertheless, the eligibility guidelines probably will be similar to the guidelines for the pneumococcal and Shingrix vaccines. In the interim, if you're concerned about your own eligibility, contact your primary care provider. I hope to have and present specific eligibility information by the next Board of Health meeting on Thursday, December the 17th at 7 p.m. And that will be broadcast, by the way, as it always has been on Comcast Channel 8 and Verizon Channel 27. Now, I know I went over a lot, but are there any specific questions?
Joe, you mentioned the imprecision of the order that is coming down from the state. Who's going to make those decisions? Is it the primary care physician? Is it the local health department? Or is it the state itself?
As I said, the devil is in the details. I hope to have additional information. The guidelines for the distribution probably will be further updated. I called several doctors yesterday and several nurses, including members of the Board of Health, because I wanted more information, particularly, those of us that may be eligible. How do we know? And the answer is, we don't know right now. To make matters worse, as I said, the Pfizer vaccine probably will be the first out. The problem with the Pfizer vaccine, it has to be kept between -70 and -90 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, dry ice is -78 degrees Fahrenheit, so it'll be kept on dry ice too. But if it's not at that temperature, it won't last long. The Moderna vaccine, which hopefully there'll be use authorization next week, can be refrigerated either in a refrigerator or a freezer, and that has a very long life. I expect there to be more information coming from the state. It's being developed right now. They will tell, they will distribute, and they will be involved in who gets it and who does not get it. Unfortunately, the feedback that I got yesterday from so many people was, Joe, there's just so much we don't know. We don't even have these refrigeration units in place. Maybe some of the hospitals do around here. I don't know. But when in doubt, just contact and speak with your primary care physician. I know I want to have a vaccine as soon as possible. And those that are vaccinated with 2 shots probably will have a card. They probably will carry a card. I want to carry a card saying, hey, I've been vaccinated. The problem is we don't know how long it's good for. 6 months, probably a year or 2. Don't know.
Will you be wearing a mask?
Oh, a good question. Absolutely. Wear a mask. Because another question is, well, okay, even if you are protected against this coronavirus, can you are people around you protected against you? And the answer is, I don't know. We don't know. So for the time being, until the government tells us otherwise, wear a mask and maintain social distancing. And as I said, I think the last meeting, say you want to take a walk in Wire Hill. That's a reservation. It's almost 200 acres on the west side of Lake Cochituate. By yourself early in the morning. You have to wear a mask? Yeah, you do. Is it needed? Well, perhaps that's a subject of further discussion. Just when you're outside, wear a mask. I could spend all my time as the chairman of the Board of Health in North Andover telling people, hey, wear your mask. Wear your mask. It's just not happening. I was at a fast food place recently in North Andover, and the man behind the counter, he had his mask on, but it was below his nose. So I showed him my card, as a member of the Board of Health, and I said, just wear it properly. He started to panic a little bit, and the manager came over, and I said, look, I'm not going to fine you or anything. Just adhere to the law. And they were very, very appreciative of that. And I made it very clear to those in our department, in our Board of Health, that, look, these are friends and neighbors and relatives in North Andover, and I'm not enamored about fining anyone unless, of course, they just don't adhere to the law. They refuse. That's a different story. You work with people. You help them. You don't fine them. Any other questions?
Joe, this is Tracy. I have a question, just so I can put it in the minutes. Can you tell me when the Board of Health meetings are on web and Zoom in case someone reads these minutes, may want to listen in on those for real details?
It changes. This month and last month is different than the norm. Typically, it's the fourth Thursday of the month, except if there's a holiday, and obviously the fourth Thursday of the month, we're talking about Christmas this year and Thanksgiving last month. So what I will do, I tell you what, I will send out my notes, my talking points, because I went over an awful lot of information. I'll send it to Irene. I'll send it to you, Larry, and Tracy, if you like it too, I'll send it to you. Because again, I covered a lot, and I tried to make it as germane as possible to us seniors in North Andover. And that's a daunting undertaking because there's so much information that we just don't know.
That would be great, and I will attach them to the minutes. But if someone wanted to listen in on actually the Board of Health one, if you don't have a normal set schedule, could they just go on to the North Andover website and see when it would be?
Absolutely. And again, this week, it's Thursday, December the 17th at 7 o'clock, Channel 8, Comcast, and Channel 26, Verizon. And it's a 5-member board. They are very, very good. We have 2 doctors and 2 nurses and me, and I'm a chemical engineer. But I only want this position for 1 year because I like other people to move in and to rotate. So I'll be the board chairman until next June, and that's it, by design.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Yep. Thank you, Joe. Any other questions or comments to Joe? No. Does anybody have any other business to bring before the council?
I just want to say another point I want to make. I have not been as concerned as perhaps I should be about and with this coronavirus until the last month or so. The numbers are horrible, and they continue to get worse. And so I don't go out that much. I'm saying to myself, stay the course. Another month or two, many of us will be vaccinated. But until then, it's awful, the numbers around our country. And unfortunately, they're only getting worse. I predict that because the governor's under a lot of pressure, that he's going to shut down our restaurants within a week or two. Hopefully I'm wrong. I just see that happening.
Yeah. I also hear from some people that they prefer to wait a while even before taking the vaccine because they're not sure of the side effects and whether or not the vaccine itself is really safe. And of course, everybody sees all of that stuff with any kind of drugs. If you watch any of the TV commercials and you see the list that goes on and on and on of potential side effects. And I know my kids will watch these TV ads and listen to that and say, why would you want to take that drug? You know, you look at all the possible things that can go wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of, unfortunately, misinformation out there. There are side effects. They appear to be mild, say a headache, a rash, which can be uncomfortable where the vaccine has been injected, fatigue, a similar side effects to, say, cold, having a cold. There's a large segment of the populace, and this has to do, from my perspective, to the political infighting between the Republican and Democrats concerning the coronavirus. But there's a large segment of the population that won't take the vaccine. You know, for example, I heard on TV last night, let's talk about minorities. 14% of blacks are comfortable with it. And it's like 34% of Hispanics are comfortable with this vaccine. And I can understand their concerns. They have legitimate reasons to be concerned. So I don't know if we'll ever get to herding that is 70% of people that have been inoculated or infected as quickly as we had hoped, because a lot of people just won't take it. And they cannot be mandated. I checked this out yesterday. If you're in a nursing home, they can't mandate you to take the vaccine. They may want to isolate you further. If you're a doctor, you can't be mandated. You may not be able to do your job, but we still have some freedom in our country, and this is a voluntary drug to a great extent, as we see right now. It may be mandated for certain people going forward. It hasn't even been tested on children yet under 12 years old. We don't even know their response to the drug. So it's scary, some of this information, but it's also real good, some of this information.
There's a wonderful article in the Globe as well as the New York Times today about a doctor who was in the test group and his comments about side effects. And they were relatively minor, but there were some noticeable side effects.
Yeah, and this doctor, I think his name is Quest. He's going to speak in front of, I think, a Senate committee. I don't know, but there's always two sides to everything, and he's not enamored with this with vaccines. Period.
No, the one I'm talking about was praising the vaccine, not the case.
Oh yeah, you'll find doctors that praise it, and doctors don't want to have anything to do with it.
I know one of those, and it's a nutcase. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Again, you can go online and you can find good things about anything that you want, and two positions about anything.
The one I'm talking about today was very supportive of everyone getting the vaccine, and just commenting about his relatively minor side effects after the second shot.
Yes.
Well, a lot more is going to come to light as things move ahead. So, any other business somebody wants to bring up?
I have a couple of questions on the minutes from last month, just to close that out. David asked for a copy of the Friends Group bylaws, and we were going to see about having an article put in the Eagle Tribune. Were any of those completed?
My understanding is that's still in process.
This is Joe. I also have a question too. What is the status of the eviction on Surrey Drive? There's a person that's renting a home and he refuses to leave, and that appears to have an impact on acquisition of that parcel of land and the status of construction of the new senior center. Irene, if you're still with us, do we have an update on this eviction at all, and what's happening with the senior center?
No, we're not hearing you, Irene.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, so now I read in the paper today, the Globe, that there's a lot of evictions. Because the caseload, nothing happened for many months, and people are being evicted. I believe, but I'm not sure. That the article was a little bit nebulous, but it appears that there are evictions that are happening, or soon will happen. And that parcel of land is needed for the conceptual design of the entire senior center and the home and the apartment rentals.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Irene.
Okay.
Now we can.
Okay, I spoke with community development, and at this point, groundbreaking will not be through to March or April. There is a person still living in the house. They are working on it, but I don't know what's going to happen. That's all I know. But they're putting everything off till March or April before they pad ready the land. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other business that wants to be brought up? Hearing none, would anyone like to move for adjournment?
I'd like to bring up one thing. We are doing a grab and go drop off on December 19th in the morning from 10 to 2 here at the senior center. I have no idea how many people will be coming looking for a bag of food, but if anybody wanted to stop by and stand outside and freeze, you're more than welcome to come over. So that's that.
Okay, thank you, Irene.
You're welcome.
Irene, anyone can do this? Anyone can get a bag of food?
Yes, that's anyone can get a bag of food. Yes.
So no matter where they live,
Oh, no, North Andover residents.
North Andover resident. Okay, so you have to prove that you're a North Andover resident and you get a bag of food.
We do not ask for an ID at the door, Joe.
Okay.
Because when we were first doing the food bank, the funds were all coming through Elder Services. But now where the police are out getting donations for us and they're from the community, we're also including families in all the donations. And we're working with Diana Lima on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Would someone
No,
like-
I have to step away. I have somebody at the door. Sorry.
Okay. Would someone like to unmute and move for adjournment?
I move we adjourn.
Okay, thank you, David. Is there a second?
I'll second. This is Tracy.
Okay, Tracy seconds it. I assume everyone's in favor. But I hope you all have a pleasant holiday, Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever holiday you observe, and be well.
Well.